Hey, what's going on everyone? This is JoeYoursTruly back with another video. Today we're actually going to be giving our first impressions and review of version 1.7.3. This is something I want to try to do more often of, especially since my video uploads are a little bit on the lower end just due to my busier schedule, and sometimes it can be a challenge to just find games because sometimes it takes multiple attempts to record one game due to like just weird stuff happening in the game, or it's just a bad game, I just cannot use it. But when it comes to like patch notes or some other forms of content that's not gameplay, I don't have to worry about any of that. I can just kind of do this all in one go, hopefully. So that's what I want to try and do. Also, one thing I've been kind of enjoying lately is like I've been playing other games besides Predecessor. That's something I've always done. And one thing that I really appreciate that other content creators do is they do a lot of gameplay, they do guides, but they also talk a lot about the game, their thoughts, what's good, what's bad, what could be done better. And I really appreciate those kind of videos a whole lot. And I feel like Predecessor and the content creator sphere kind of lacks that at the moment. So this is something I want to try to do more of as well, because I think you guys really enjoy, trust my opinion, and I want to do my due diligence and give you guys my honest thoughts, feedback, trying to fill that hole that's kind of missing, because right now it's just like we're just so lacking like those honest conversations for like the content creator side. So I want to try and see if we can kind of fill that and do a better job at kind of like voicing concerns or what's actually being done well by the meta dev team. So um, I won't do this for like every patch necessarily, because sometimes it'll be like a very dry patch to just balance stuff, and I don't think that's like worthwhile doing the update. But this one we got some nice changes into the balancing, but we also got a very cool update for the Predecessor lab side, and that I think is actually really worthwhile talking about. So let's actually jump straight into that first, because essentially one of the big highlights they did in the patch is the whole like what they're doing with like Predecessor Labs, or like the experimental game mode. So for those who do not know, Predecessor Labs, it's kind of like the mindset that Meta Series is trying to put out. It's like, hey, we're experimenting with different game modes. So we're not gonna try and make the most ultimate like perfect game mode, but we're gonna use it as an opportunity to experiment, try out new game modes, and bring that to life for you guys to test and enjoy all of that. And if the game mode is something that's really enjoyable, that sticks really well, that's something that they know can work, and they're gonna stick with it, improve on it, etc., etc. And so on that note, Legacy was a big flop, because this is like a kind of data chart that they kind of shared with us. And so essentially, you see like the blue is Brawl, green is Legacy, and orange is Nitro, and you see like Nitro is very consistent. Like it's like didn't really decline a whole lot. And the thing that's kind of like crazy too about it is like this like last 1/3 of the graph is like being done at the same time Legacy was being run along with it. So the fact that I didn't really decline that much while there was another game mode happening, it's very telling that like, hey, a lot of people like Nitro, and this is something that we can keep like working on. And that's something that I said myself too, because I actually made a whole video about how Nitro can fix a lot of the Predator issues. And what it kind of boils down to is the whole idea that like Nitro is that kind of quick, fun, casual game mode that it's been kind of really lacking for a long time in Predecessor. Because the thing like before we even got like Nitro and Brawl and all that, trying to play the game casually was just miserable, because you only have quick play, like the normal like 5v5, and rank. And the problem with like the normal quick play 5v5 is a lot of times it feels like rank that's just not rank, because your queue times can be really long. You can get into really sweaty matches, and it's just not fun to play with your friends. Like I have a group of friends that I play Predecessor with regularly, and it's always this challenge to play quick play on in Pred and trying to actually just have fun with the game, because for all those reasons. And then Nitro came along, and it hit off really well. Like, and the thing is, like, Brawl was very good. Like, it was a very fun casual game mode too. The problem with Brawl is that it got very repetitive pretty fast, and there was some stuff in the game that's like not as enjoyable, like the whole 50-50 and old Prime, just totally flipping the game was just not fun, not an enjoyable experience. But also it's just Brawl didn't really scratch that itch, that pred itch, where you want to lane against your opponents, try to build that lead, and feel like you're the big, strong weight boss in the match. In Brawl, it's like you can go 0-5, and you're still like pretty close to what the levels and the gold and everyone else in the lobby. So I think that's kind of like why Brawl sort of kind of fall off a little bit. It's a good, fun concept, but it wasn't execute the best it could have. On play side, but also it just didn't scratch that itch. Like the itch that people want to have fixed is just getting that like quick dive into the Predecessor gameplay, and Nitro was just that. You get a quick dose of that Predecessor gameplay. You get to like your full build faster. The games are shorter, so even if you get into a game that's like very miserable and Nitro, the game's gonna end relatively quickly. Still at the end of the day, and it's just like a perfect game to like play a couple, and then you're just happy doing that. Trying to play a couple of like the normal standard play is like equivalent of queuing up for like 10 minutes every time, and they only play like 2 matches, and then it's just like miserable or sweaty or not fun. Nitro is like I can play like all of these pretty easily in the same time it takes me to play quick play, and that's kind of like why a lot of my content has just been more Nitro, because I just find Nitro to be the best way for me personally to make content. Because trying to like sit in queue and wait for 30 minutes on average, and then get into the game finally, and then it's like the people and the enemy players FF at 15 minutes, and I'm only like at barely 2 items. I can't use that. That's just not fun at all. And so like I just feel like Nitro is just a perfect fit for me, because my content has always been about build showcases, lane matchups, just talking about what I'm doing and why. And I feel like and Nitro is the best way for me to like actually get that kind of content out to you guys. Because even if the game is shorter, well, I got 3-4 items in that Nitro game mode, and that's like a pretty dang good build showcase. Or the fact that with Nitro, I can do multiple games in one video. And the big thing about like offlane too is like a lot of stuff changes depending on your matchup. So doing like 2 offlane matchups in one video on one hero is like really beneficial for you guys to learn the ins and outs of the heroes, the strengths and weaknesses, and how you have to adapt to different matchups. So it's very obvious I'm glazing Nitro a whole lot, and it shows. Like, let me show you the dark mode because we like dark mode here, but no, it's just like Nitro was that really good fit, and I guess I should like talk really briefly on why like Legacy kind of failed. The problem with what made Legacy good? No, sorry. What made Nitro really good is you get your games fast. The games are fast paced. They're fun. You get your quick dose of gameplay, and you're done. Legacy, the queue times are longer, like almost to the point that same queue times as standard play. And then when you get into it, they're long, drawn out matches, to the point that it kind of feels like semi-ranked, but not really, because you have some weird stuff like fast travel modes going on, and so travel mode has a lot of issues in OG Paragon, and they try to make it like a mini fast travel mode. It's like, oh, it's not the full-blown travel mode. It's still travel mode. You can still run up to people while they're fighting and just abuse the whole movement speed system. It's disgusting. Like it made some really like unfun interactions in the game mode, and it just made stuff just not enjoyable, like the whole fast travel modes and all that. But yeah, I think another thing too is like it kind of felt like a little bit rushed, because before I think in one of my first videos I did on Lexi, like the kind of consecrated event, I was told that this game mode had harvesters like the OG Paragons, and when I got into it, it was just not the case at all. And when I asked and looked into it more deeply, people mentioning that this whole like Legacy game mode went undergo a lot of changes throughout its testing phase, and that's good. It kind of shows that they really put a lot of care, effort into like trying to make Legacy closest to an actual like fun, good game mode. However, the issue though was due to the fact that, if you guys have noticed, like Predecessor's like dev cycle is pretty dang fast. Like for pushing out updates, we literally get like an update every 3 weeks, and every 6 weeks we get like a major mode patch. And these can be really big, like the whole like update where we work every single hero. There's the one with all the arguments. Like they'll like patch cycle is fast, and they do a lot of stuff in the patch cycle, and that means that there's a lot I guess pressure and stress that gets put onto the QA side, and you can only do so much like testing on the like a game mode 2 before you have to just ship it. And I think the thing with like the legacy is like, since they tried so many different things and it didn't work out as well as they tended to, they instead went for more band-aid solutions, like kind of like how they brought back like the travel mode, because apparently this whole legacy game mode, like, this is what I've been told. This is what I've been told, especially since I've been gone, so I've been so out of loop with all this stuff. But I've been told that like legacy like didn't have travel mode initially at first, and then they got the penalty that felt bad, so they put a bending solution by making mini travel mode. So there's a lot of stuff that changed, and unfortunately they kind of ran out of time. It kind of feels like on testing or fixing stuff, and they kind of ship it as it is and hope for the best. So I think that's another reason why the downfall of Lexi just kind of happened, is that they tried a lot of different stuff and they tried their best to put a band-aid on it, but it wasn't enough to make the game mode like enjoyable for long-term use. And I won't lie, like the first few games of Legacy was so fun, and then the problems came in, the long matchmaking times, the frustrating experiences in game, and I've been disappointed about this overall. I would say, like, I know this is like a more expansive game mode, but I was still disappointed because the last few games I tried to play were just absolutely miserable. So it seems like they're gonna like fault it and gonna work on it a bit more. And for now, they're gonna keep Nitro right here. So, and that's very good because I really, like I said, I really rely on Nitro a whole lot for making content right now. And I think, again, it's like, it is the perfect quick play casual game mode that Prez just been kind of lacking at the moment. So it's very good they're sticking with it. And they said right here that like it's still not at where they want to be right now. Like, it's good, but they still want to make it better, and that's good because essentially what they're gonna do is they're gonna do like heavier tweaks to the game mode. So as a result, they're gonna actually remove it in version 1.9. Oh no, 1.8. Wait, hold on. No, sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up. They're gonna take it off in 1.9, and then they're gonna bring it back, a new improved version, in 1.10. Sorry, the numbers can get sometimes confusing. It's a mouthful. So right now we're on version 1.7. So 1.8 is going to be more improvements. But 1.9 is where they're going to ramp it up and take it offline to do heavy reworks and bring it back to 1.10. And I'm really excited for that because it just tells me that Nitro is that casual game mode they're going to stick with long term. And why we not? Because it's always shown to do so well for player retention. And like on its first iteration, if you just make it even more perfect, that's gonna be so huge for the casual player base. So like what version 1.9 is gonna be a little bit unfortunate for me because that means I'm gonna have to go to standard play, which like it's not the end of the world, but it may make it harder for me to put out more content for you guys during that time frame. But actually, this may actually happen while I'm away, because I'm actually and me trying to further my aviation career in the Coast Guard, I actually have to go to some other state and do a lot of hands-on technical learning, and that probably means that I'm gonna probably go MIA for another like 6 months potentially. I'm not too sure on that. I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on that and maybe make an update video right there. But yeah, no, the big thing that they're gonna do for 1.9 while Nitro is gone is that they're gonna try to release their version of a ARAM single lane 5v5 game mode. That's gonna be a lot of fun because I have played customs matches with like the whole PCC crew and with other friends, and doing like a all random all mids on like the normal map. It's kind of scuffed, but it's fun. The whole concept. So it looks like they're actually finally making their own version of it, and that's gonna be really interesting to see how they do their own spin on it. Because Nitro, they nailed it in the park. Brawl was decent, but it could have been made a lot better, and Legacy was a flop. So this ARAM can go in either direction, but I kind of feel like at the same time it's really hard to mess up ARAM. It's kind of like a try and true formula for like MOBAs, so it's gonna be really fun to see ARAM in 1.9 and how that's gonna like play out. So that's definitely something I'm gonna be playing a ton of. In terms of making content, I'm gonna wait and see because I tried to make content on Brawl before and then people just didn't really watch it a whole lot, which is understandable. So I'm gonna see how many games I can actually do of ARAM on the YouTube channel before that also happens, and then have to go deal with quick play, or hopefully like my ranked games doesn't take 30 minutes for me to get into it and then start doing more ranked games during that time frame. But yeah, that's my whole, I guess, rant. Not rant. It's like a whole spiel on my thoughts on like what they're doing with like Nitro, ARAM, Lexi, all that good stuff. Now we can actually jump straight into the actual patch notes for 1.7.3. Of course, we got Bikini Narbash. It's kind of funny, like if you guys are out of the loop, how this whole thing started was there was a kind of like community tournament. I forgot who hosted it, but essentially it was a community kind of like tournament ran by some streamer, and it was just 1v1s in mid. And it's kind of like, I'm trying to remember, you win by either getting 2 kills first or taking down the first mid tower. And someone was making a joke about how was this? Like there was some dev. I think it was Smokey, like Sergeant Smokey, that was in the call. Not in the call, in the Twitch chat. I don't know if it's him or someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was Sergeant Smokey, and he was talking with other people during the tournament, and then he made some joke that like, oh, if this like Narbash mid, because someone for whatever reason played Narbash mid in the 1v1 and they were against like an ADC, so it was just like, and the person on the ADC, I think it was a very good ADC player, so just no way that Narbash was gonna win for the most part. But someone made the joke, or like Sergeant Smoking made the joke, the devs made the joke that, oh, if this Narbash somehow win this 1v1, I'm gonna make my team like make Bikini Narbash a thing. And and so what kind of happened was that ADC player started to kind of throw on purpose, because I think he also wanted see the Bikini Narbash like stop playing really badly and letting the Narbash get the kills, and then Sergeant Smoke's like, stop, please don't make me do that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Smokey went into the DMs of this guy and was like, hey man, I'm serious, please do not let this happen, we're not ready for this. And then because the ADC player last minute just like killed the Narbash and won the 1v1, so everyone was disappointed. But it was like a funny meme that happened in the community tournament, and it just kept being said from time to time. And we have the whole summer event, and people are like, where the heck is my Bikini Narbash? I don't care about the Gunnar, Yuri, or the Renna skins with the ash cheeks out. I want my ash cheeks on Narbash out, essentially. And lo and behold, we finally got a Narbash bikini skin, which is very cool. And it was a cool story behind like the whole thing, how it came to be. It'd be cool if like Meta themselves would expand on that a little bit more, how like the lore behind Bikini Narbash, right? Because if you're not know it, then you have no idea how this came to be. And this is just me trying to recollect the best I can for you guys on like how Narbash became a thing. So very cool. I'm definitely probably gonna play Narbash offlane with this new skin, because the last time I did Narbash offlane with the art with this like rework was a lot of fun. So I'm definitely gonna enjoy trying to smash some people with his dunk in lane. We have a new Scarlet skin. This one looks pretty cool. We finally got a female skin that's not a 100% Gunnar bait, that's showing a ton of skin and all the like stuff like being shown display. But you never know. I'm kind of looking at this and I'm like, this could totally be a skin where you can see some very well defined textures on the lower half of the model. So I don't want to like jump the gun and be like, oh, we finally got a cool female skin, not a Gunnar skin, but this could be a cool but Gunnar female skin still. We have to wait and see. This one looks pretty dang cool, the Sinks one. And I think this is like one that's like, this is like an old Paragon skin, I believe. and that was gonna be really cool. So that's like one that's like totally not good. And by the way, the reason why I keep trying to emphasize the whole I wish it's not a Guna skin, it's just because Amisus lately has been on the Guna spree, making like every female like skin just absolutely Guna, and the same like two, like, how do you say, the two fabric tails hanging out, and then you have like the B ass cheeks hanging out. It's just like untasteful in my opinion, and a lot of people are also commenting too that they are getting tired of that, and it just looks bad to have the same kind of Guna style skin copy pasta on a lot of different stuff. So that's why like I'm making emphasis on it, because I think that was sort of an issue in my opinion that's starting to be a recurring theme where they just keep doing the same skin for females, the same like Guna style, and not like these more cooler skins that they should be doing. Like we need more like these fun skins like Narbash bikini. We need more of this like sci-fi cool like fun skins like this. We need less of the Guna skins, because like that's been out of control lately. So I'm happy to see that they're kind of stepping away from that a little bit, but who knows? Probably the next skin and the big update is going to be another big Guna skin. And then finally we got one of the Seal OG skins from Paragon coming back. This is gonna be like this is actually a common one, because it's just a recolor, but this is like one of my favorite like Steel skins back in Paragon. It was a very basic one, but the black and gold on Steel just works very well. So that's gonna be pretty enjoyable to bring that back into Predecessor. Of course, new bundles too. We already talked about the Labs update. Oh, and by the way, if you're not seeing the race, they pretty much did like a huge lore update, where essentially they added a whole lore section, where they added all these like bunch of stories. Like some of them were past stories, like the August one, and some of them like the new ones. Like I think for example this one, it's like I think it's like totally new. I'm trying to remember because I know they did some like low tidbits on Renna, so I'm not sure like how many of this stuff is like 100% new. Star Wars ones kind of like same. I think the ones that are like new are the worlds, so like Action Prime, Balrina, Equinox, because those are the ones where they actually expand upon like the setting and laws, and they even show like the connected heroes too. So like these are the heroes that are associated with this too: ancient magic, budding technology, and then Axiom Prime, that's like the huge sci-fi tech. Yeah, Tech Prime Ambition. So you got the Twin by Scala, totally makes sense. And then finally Equinox. It's kind of like balance of light and dark, so very agent kind of stuff going on right here. So you have like Chimera. I'm not sure why Gadget's connected to all this, because I would think Gadget's like a more tech kind of person. But she seems like really outplayed. I think same thing with Howitzer too. Both a good amount of them actually kind of outplays, it feels like. It's like the Fae, Mortgage, Countess, Grux, Chimera all being left up together. Makes sense. Trying to see if there's like Gothic Citadels. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like very, how to say it? It's very un-sci-fi. This kind of like whole setting right here. So I don't know. Maybe they're kind of cooking with some of the random tech people, and then maybe they're like the explorers, right? That kind of stumble upon this world and how they interact. But anyways, they're doing some really cool lore stuff. If you guys are very interested, you can check it out on the main website. Trying to go back to where I was before. Lore updates, live update. Oh yeah, so the Battle Pass. There's like a smaller paragraph they kind of put in here, but it's a pretty big change they're doing, because essentially what they had it is, wait, it was a typo. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so because essentially what happened was the end. So on the Battle Pass like screen end game, they had an end date of September 16th, and apparently it was a typo. How did that go through? Like, like a typo. And so because of a typo, they're actually like showing that the actual end date of the Battle Pass is September 2nd. So you get 2 whole weeks less to finish the Battle Pass. That is crazy. that this was a typo. And what's even more crazier is that they're actually gonna move it up. And I'm gonna tell you guys exactly why this is really bad. Whenever you have paid content, right, and you need to change stuff about it, it's a big no-no, like 99% of the time. A really good example of this, gacha games, and I'm only brought them up is because gacha games becoming a lot more mainstream, like Genshin Impact's been around for a while, and then you have Uma Musume that's like every streamer is playing it, and I may have played a little bit of it, but that game is also gacha and it's also becoming mainstream. But the thing with those gacha games is like you pull for characters, and those are the characters you play and you enjoy. So and of course you can spend money to pull those characters. So gacha games will usually never nerf characters because essentially you bind this character that you expect it to perform at a certain level, and then if they nerf it post release, well, it's like you're getting ripped off on your money, and people will actually sue over that. So the thing with like the gacha games is like they'll never nerf characters no matter how like overpowered they are, because as soon as you do that, you have to issue refunds or do some like compensation in game to make up for the fact that you're pretty much you're making the purchase of that character less viable post launch. And the same thing's happening with the battle pass. Well, people look at the battle pass, and there were even people commenting how long this battle pass was and how good it was. They have all this time to finish the battle pass, and now all of a sudden they got slapped in the face and they were like, oh, we had a typo on our end. It was our fault that we misled you on what's the actual end date, and we're gonna still go on the end date of September 2nd. So you paid the $10 or whatever, and you were expecting to finish the battle pass September like 16th. Well, too bad. You only have September 2nd now. And the thing is, like, I really hate this language. Rest assured, the battle pass was designed around this date, as I was could say, like, you can't, so like, you can't just do that without like people getting upset with that, because someone could have bought. There are probably a good amount of people, I guarantee you, that look at this battle pass and they're like, I'm gonna be busy around the end of August. But I can definitely finish this kind of like beginning of September. But now they just can't do that anymore. And they're like, well, I bought this battle pass because I thought I was going to finish it, but now I can't. Like, that is just so anti-consumer to like make the battle pass like move up earlier. And it was your fault for doing that. Like, and they said they want to like make sure the battle pass coincides with the release of the no battle pass. But honestly, you can have two battle passes going on at the same time, right? Like, maybe you have to do a little bit more, I don't know, back coding to make it possible, but my whole thing is, if you're gonna like nerf something, or you're gonna make a purchase less viable, you need to provide some compensation, or just let it like stay as it is, because you just, without a doubt, made this battle pass less viable, and then you provide no compensation whatsoever for it. That is just like bad practice. That's very anti-consumer practice. And I'm gonna also say that battle passes are usually anti-consumer because they create FOMO and you have to like finish it while it's being ran. But we saw like other games like Helldivers 2, well, they have battle passes that are there forever and you can finish them whenever, and that's shown to be done really good. That's like anti-FOMO, and consumers are happy they have progress they can work towards and get rewards eventually. So that's my whole rant on that, I guess you can say. Like, the whole battle pass, my opinion is that all battle passes should never fully expire. They should always be around. You should always have the option to choose which battle pass you want to work on. And then you can still purchase at the time and all that, but making it like only limited for a limited time creates FOMO, and then when you have a battle pass on your screen that says like it's gonna end a certain date, but then there's a typo and it's actually supposed to be an earlier date and you move to an earlier date without compensation, that is just so bad. I cannot emphasize that much, and that's why I went a long rant, because it's like a small paragraph in this whole like blog post, but it's such a bad move by Ministries. I hope they reconsider it, but most likely then they're probably not gonna reconsider it unless they get more backlash by the community. So we'll see about that whole thing. But anyways, let's jump into the balance changes right here. So I'm gonna kind of skim through most of them. I don't want to like kind of dissect every single one, especially since I haven't been playing the game as much as I would like to. That's why I haven't made like a tier list video, because I do not. The last thing I want to do is mislead you guys on a kind of sketchy tier list video, right? So that's something that I'm only gonna do if I feel very confident on my opinions on the tier list and I've done plenty of research, right? So that's something that I'm gonna try to like make sure I do a good job going forward. But essentially, they did some jungle changes, tower changes, some minor argument changes. The big ones are gonna be more like the balance hero as well. Force is kind of getting nerfed kind of across the board because he got buffed. He was very popular jungle, and now they're gonna turn them back a bit more. Countless doing really good in off lane because her kit is like super good for off lane, always has been, and looks like they're gonna nerf her a bit while trying to make sure that the jungle is not hit too hard. Punch, I guess, got like a nerf on his primary ability because I guess it was doing too much damage. Deco like general damage nerfs, and then Drongo is kind of buff him a little bit because he's still like struggling against other carries at the moment. Fei Mao, he got a nerf, I believe, last patch, and then nerfing him again because he's still doing pretty dang good. So nothing like his passive, nothing his damage numbers, but I still think it's going to be a pretty dang good assassin all around. Gadget, they're trying to like improve the wave clear a bit. Some like minor like changes here and there. Some buffs, some nerfs. Greystone, Hanley, still pretty dang good early game, so trying to tone it down a bit. Right here. Grim, he's still like a menace, I guess. He's doing really good in the meta, so they're also trying to nerf him a bit. A lot of like minor nerfs it seems like this patch, because we're also seeing Grux gain his early game reduced by a bit. Aching Scourge, too dope, like turns a bit too durable. So they're gonna like try and make his other arguments a little bit better, so people are not running the extra turn all the time, and also trying to nerf like the actual turns, because like magical Hell's magical power scaling, that's like a pretty big nerf by 4%. Then decrease armor, decrease, yeah, so the turns are gonna be so much easier to kill, which is good because sometimes Iggy turns are really annoying to like kill in lane. The Chimera is like doing really good in the higher elo bracket, so they're just nerfing him. Nerfs just nerfs across the board for the most part, so Kyo is also getting kind of nerfs. Belica is like an interesting one because she's like one of the few mages that can either go for burst or like an ADC on hits, thanks to like when the argument she can go with her and her like 3-round burst. So they're kind of like trying to nerf her, it seems like. Mortgage, we do, so they're nerfing Mortgage right here. About 5 seconds reduced on the argument. That's actually a good amount. I still think Mortgage is a disgusting hero, especially if you try to abuse her in the off lane. But thankfully, I haven't seen her too much personally. It kind of seems like other people are playing at a range off lanes, unfortunately, right now. But I still think Mortgage is always a pooper to go against. We have Mon right here, who's like doing really good thanks to some like the buffs he got, especially like the one argument that makes his heal apply to everyone on hit, like a very strong like argument, and it actually does a lot of damage consistently. So they're gonna like try to tone that down a bit. Murdoch. Oh yeah, they gave him 5 move speed. Mario, okay, they gave him 10 more HP. Narbash, they're actually like nerfing him, which is like, I guess it's very telling to show that Narbash jungle is actually doing really good, and they know everyone's gonna be playing bikini Narbash, so try not to make him too abusive. But I mean, there's no way Narbash jungle is gonna be like top 2 meta compared to the meta choices. Let people have fun with this pick a bit more, but these nerfs are not too crazy high. So they're gonna like, so is it healing more? There's also she's slowing less because I guess compared to other supports, like she's been kind of like not doing as good, so they're gonna give her a little bit more love. Kind of interesting, yeah. Like I've been noticing more support rampages, and they've been doing pretty good. Like rampage is someone that has a lot of good stats overall, so you can kind of just fit him in a lot of different roles. So they're trying to just really tackle him across the board right here. So we're gonna see how that kind of plays out. Now the two heroes, I'm gonna try and scroll down a little bit because yeah, the two heroes I want to mention the most highlight are Renna and Yuri, because I think without a doubt these two heroes are sort of like the most frustrating heroes to go against, and what you call, and like Predecessor like recent metas. And the reason that they're not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. The reason is that they just gave them really overbloated kits, right? Because Renna is just someone that's like they give her like so many different things to a kit that almost kind of feels unnecessary. And you guys are probably wondering, if you guys are like looking at my tabs, you're like, why do I have a Smite tab open up? It's because I'm gonna do a direct comparison and just show you how overbloated her kit is. Because essentially, Renna is a close range lifesteal kind of like mage that they want to put in the game, that they took a lot of, how they say it, ideas from Hades, who's also a close range life-stealing mage. Because like I'm gonna, and the thing that, and another reason why I'm doing a direct comparison with the Smite hero is because recently Amisus have been hiring a lot of devs from like high risk or paladins, right? And Lomi was one of the game devs that worked directly with Smite. So I wanted to be surprised if that she has a hand on Renna, just because like of like a hero template they can kind of like look at a lot. Because like, you guys don't know what Hades does. Essentially, he's pretty much someone that like likes to go in. He silences, right? And then he like applies like blight, and then when you detonate those blight stacks, you do bonus damage, and you also heal a lot. So Hades is like a strictly close range mage, that survives, with like all the healing he does, and some damage mitigation he gets during his ult. But the thing is, like, his kit is not super overbloated. His mobility is literally just him going on the ground and whipping underneath someone and just doing damage. Like he has a slow that does, but he's not doing anything too crazy, and that's his only way to get in and out. So if you go in, you're kind of committed to go all in, because if you go in at a bad time, you're just dead. And then his like one of his main ways to kind of like apply the blight or go in like combos is like doing the silence, and it's like all it does is like it's silence, and then if they're blighted, they also fear. So pretty like cool ability. This is where he like actually heals the detonate healing. And this is like the big thing. Here's the ultimate. So here's the combo. It's like you go in with your death from below, you silence, detonate, and then you finish with your ultimate. And during your ultimate, you cannot move at all. I believe you're CC immune while doing it. Gains protections. I can't remember if it's like CC immune, but either way, when he's ulting, he is like not moving whatsoever. So to get away from him, you simply can just walk away. You can still get dragged in a little bit, but once he's committed his ultimate, he is in that one spot you don't want to contest with him. So you either try to kill him through the healing, or you just walk out of it, wait out his ultimate, then go back on him. So you guys got a general gist of that, right? Of like Hades' kit. Now let's look at Renna. Her Q is a long range AoE ability that can execute people. It can slow and also heals her. Just all in one ability. And then her like mobility is also like a very strong CC, right? Like Hades here just has like a mobility and a slow. Renna has a mobility. She goes up in the air, can't really touch her with the melee heal, and she can memorize you and just stall out so many different things. And then ARAM B is like for a short range mage, it's actually pretty long, and you can go the argument that gives her a shield on top of that. And then let's not forget that her ultimate, like imagine if Hades has an ultimate where he can just move around and suck people in and heal a lot. That'd be crazy broken, right? Well, guess what? Renna does that. Like imagine a Gideon ultimate where you can move around and stasis and have your ultimate still going on at the same time. And that's just Renna's ultimate in a nutshell. Like there were so many interactions and so many overbloatedness to her kids to the point that they're nerfing her, right? But I feel like there's gonna be another Wukong situation, and if you guys have not know about the Wukong situation, it's like ever since his release, he's just been getting nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, and it's just because his kids just really overbloated in a way. The difference with Wukong though is like there's some little bit skill expression. There's like a ceiling you have to like get to first, and then really abuse his kids in a way. But for Renna, it's like that ceiling is much lower, so it's easy for bad players to look really good on this hero, right? And I just think like Renna's kids, and then like we're gonna also talk about Yuri's kid. They're just very unhealthy kid designs because people were already talking about like, oh, like Renna and Yuri kids are like very good, they're very modern, they're very like really good to play. We just need to like rework the older kids to match theirs. We literally had a patch not too long ago where we reworked every single hero in the game, and we're asking for another one. That is crazy. Or rather, the bigger issue is like the new hero kits are just too overbloated to begin with. So I just think like for Renna, you don't even need, so like the best way to kind of rein in Renna, so she still feels like a close range menace, but not like so frustrating to play against, is like I don't know why she need to execute on the Q first off. Just remove that, and then when she uses ultimate, she can still move around, but through your stasis, it should just end the ultimate. Like, why is Gideon that is a stationary ultimate? He's very vulnerable. As soon as you stasis, the ultimate ends. But then Renna can just move around, and while moving around, she can still do all the crazy other abilities and stasis, and the ultimate's still going on. Like, that just does not make sense whatsoever. And like this is like a trend I'm noticing. Like the newer heroes lately are just like not well made. They're fun to play, but they're so frustrating to go against, and they're so hard to balance because they just have like 5 times more utility and cringe stuff going on in the kit compared to other heroes. So even if you keep nerfing the numbers, they're always gonna be good because they just have so much utility to make up for that. Like again, like Wukong keeps getting nerfed over and over again. But he's still very good because he has the same utility kit and does a lot of crazy stuff that no other hero can do. So I kind of feel like for like Renna, Yuri, Wukong, and one other hero, it's like these heroes, like the problem with them is like the actual design, not like the numbers. It's the actual design of these heroes is the problem. And there's like there's actually one thing that I forgot to click on earlier, but there's like a tease of like one of the heroes coming to like Pred pretty soon. It's overseas. Like what was it? It was one of the ones that it's the faction that Yuri and Renna was in. Yeah, this one right here. Well, like you see like the heroes related, and then you have Akron, and he's getting a little bit teased right here. He's actually already confirmed to be a jungle offlane, right? And I'm like, yes, another offlane hero. But I'm also concerned that he's gonna be another overbloated kid, and it's just gonna be one of those really frustrating heroes to go against. So that's kind of like my whole spiel. Sorry for like the longer rants. I was hoping that I should make this video not too long, but I ended up going pretty hard on some of my like thoughts on some of these like topics, and they're all really good topics, I feel. So hope you guys don't mind a little bit longer rants. At least you guys got more thoughts from me. But so there's a lot of changes in Renna. They're kind of like overall nerfs. But it's crazy that how do I say it? They say that she has a weaker early game, but it actually feels like she has one of the stronger early game, just because how strong her kit is in general. Like, she's kind of like the Yuri world. Yuri's supposed to be a mid to late game scaling assassin, but her other game is just so good still compared to other heroes. So I don't get why they say that she has a weaker other game where her other game is actually pretty good. So a lot of stuff I disagree with the whole like Renna thing. But if you want to see like more like the very specific stuff, you guys can also just look up the patch notes and read up on it. But yeah, I don't want to like spend too much time dissecting every single change. It kind of seems like they'll like nerfing some aspects, but also buffing some aspects. So I kind of feel like she needs to get neutered a lot harder in this, and maybe hopefully we see that in like the actual next big update, since it's like a mid bounce patch. But there's some changes. Victor, some changes as well. They're actually it's actually funny. They're actually buffing her because since Ashburn got nerfed, she feels pretty underwhelming. But I may have a really good Ashburn sales video tomorrow that I actually think is the best Ashburn build at the moment, and I don't think a lot of people are running it. And yeah, I think that build is gonna make a minute actually nerf sales Ashburn again. Let's just put it that way. So look forward to that. Sidvar, they're kind of nerfing him because yeah, this guy's just a menace right now. Shouldn't be some general nerfs, that's cool. Spare some general nerfs. Steel, general nerfs. Faye, general nerfs. Twin Blast, general nerfs. Wukong, nerfing for the 6th time or something like that. Yuri, just getting nerfed, but again, she is just a crazy kid. She's like one of the best assassins for 1v1s. And also like she's like the best assassin for team fighting. That's another thing. It's another thing. Like if Renna's like that one mage that does everything, like so much AoE damage, so much healing, so much CC mobility, all that crazy stuff. Yuri is like it's like the same thing for that, and she doesn't really have any big downsides because usually assassins can be sometimes tricky to execute in team fights. Because assassins probably just isolate targets and then just blow the whole load on them and get out. But Yuri is like she wants to blow a whole load on everyone, right? So again, it's just like a assassin should be more single target focused. You can have some assassins with some multi target stuff, but the fact that Yuri is insane for both 1v1s and 1v5 is just like outrageous. And not only that, she can do all her like mobility resets. She has healing. She has range basic attacks. Again, like the only way they can balance Yuri is if they neuter her like base stats. But she may still even be playable because she's like the Wukong situation where Wukong gets gained nerfed, but he's still very good. And then lastly, we got Ceres with some buffs and some nerfs, and we got all these item changes. I don't think there's anything too crazy with some of this. Oh, they're actually really nerfing Typhoon. 15 seconds increase. It's actually pretty crazy. In a charm, warp stream, more haste on that is pretty cool. Nothing fits Rasul because it is a pretty meta item at the moment. And yep, that's gonna be the theme about the end of today's video. Again, I keep apologizing that for making longer videos and then saying that next time I'll make it shorter, but then somehow I keep making them longer and longer and longer. So, but again, I don't think you guys mind too much, as long as I'm still ranting about, I guess, good content and kind of really like diving into some of the deeper topics that are not being talked about as much. But definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think of today's video. If you enjoyed the discussions and me ranting and really dissecting some of the stuff that's good and some stuff that's bad. And let me know if you want to see more of this, of course, because I think this is something I want to keep doing consistently, as long as you guys are okay with the day later patch videos. Because I usually like to do these patch videos the same day it's released. But I think doing the very next day afterwards is not too bad, as long as I'm bringing something new to the conversation. So that's something I want to try to focus on. But let me know what else kind of content you guys want to see from me. I know some of you guys want to see like more dedicated guide videos, but editing takes a lot of time, and I'm someone that I'm not happy with my editing skills. Like something like me looking at patch screens screen. It requires minimal editing. I'm fine with it, but me trying to like edit out like B-roll footage and show all this different stuff on screen, I'm not happy with my editing skills. That's honestly the main reason why I haven't really done guide videos. But outside of that, let me know what other kind of content you guys want to see from me. Because I really thought about doing like a whole video talking about the biggest problem with some of the Predecessor heroes and why. But I guess I haven't really found that big motivation to dive into that video. Probably because the reason why I make those kind of videos in the first place is kind of like feedback to the devs, while also kind of having a conversation with you guys. And the last time I did a how do they say it? Last time I did like a dedicated like video like feedback to the devs. I'm trying to see if I can pull up here. The one like I'm worried about the future of Pred. The one that got like so many comics on it. The last time I did that, I was met with a very cold response from the devs. And I won't lie, that kind of killed a lot of my motivation to make more of these like feedback videos for like devs, because I talked to other like content creators and I seen some other like communities and see some other content creators do their like feedback stuff. There are like other games out there that has way more problems than Pred. But the devs are very receptive, and there'll be times where they disagree, but they're still like professional about it, and they still take those feedback into consideration. But that one video I made, I kind of felt like my feedback was just like tossed to the side, right? And it just rubbed me off the wrong way for the longest time, and so that's kind of like why I haven't really been looking into those videos as much. But if you guys are very interested to see more of those kind of breakdown videos, then I could probably make that kind of video just for you guys, and Omega Series can do whatever they want with it, right? But that's enough venting for me. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If not already, consider liking, subscribing to the channel so don't miss a single beat by yours truly. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day here. Peace.